All life has purpose. We are Shaltazar, the Gavish Paninu, the energy of 33, the master teacher, and we have come forth at this time to bring you divine wisdom. If you so choose to accept the wisdom we bring forth, it can make your life more enjoyable. Do not get us wrong. The trials, the tribulations, the lessons will still come forth in all their glory. For no one in human form can avoid that. It is one of the purposes of going forth into human form. As we have told you many times, it is not punishment, nor retribution, nor even karma. What comes your way is of your choosing, so to speak, not always by your human choosing. For we know if you had your human choice, you would take joy, bliss, peace, and happiness all of the time. But then, what purpose would human life serve? For we must tell you that all, and we repeat all, life has purpose. For the great Creator only, and we repeat only, works from the place of purpose. The sooner you can accept this very important principle or law of life, the easier you will find life. It is obviously more difficult to comprehend in human form, for there appears to be so much that humans do that is without purpose. It is as if you have been cut off from your purpose and purpose in general. And that is true. You have been cut off from your purpose. Source is purpose, and in order for it to know itself beyond its beingness, the human form was created. Yes, created with great purpose to go forth to the planet of free choice, separated from the great Creator. Now let us get back to purpose and why this teaching can be of great value to you as you go forth living out your human experience. What do you think it would be like if you began to always think in terms of purpose? We know that is a difficult question because so much of your human existence appears to be beyond your control. And if you are not in control, how can you understand the purpose of what is happening? If I didn't create this circumstance, this experience, how can I know the purpose of it? You ask. What you say has great merit. Your statement is correct, at least the first presumption. That is the fact that what happens to you is sometimes beyond your control, but it does not have to be that way all of the time. You see, you are very much the creator of your life experiences, but since you do not know completely how human creation works, you often assume that you have no control or no say in what comes your way. However, there is a part of you, an invisible part of you, that is often guiding the ship, so to speak. Yes, your higher self, the part of you that is part of the source, is assisting you in your creations. Nothing happens by chance, ever, not above and not below. Once again, we come back to this law of life that this teaching is all about. All life happens with purpose. So if all life occurs with purpose, and often this purpose comes from a part of me that is invisible, how can I ever understand that purpose, you ask? We would like to suggest two ways that may assist you in this task. The first is to get to know this invisible part of you. Get to know your higher self better. Now, we must say that many of you have been making a great effort in this area. You have learned to connect to the invisible world. You have sought to know your past incarnations, and many, like the translator of this message, have learned to receive transmissions from above. But what we are suggesting is to go one step further. Get to know your spirit, your higher self, in a more intimate way. To do so, pretend that your higher self is a part of your family. Yes, a very close member of your family. But in this case, it is a close member of your family that you were separated from at birth. You and this family member have so much in common. You share a genetic connection, maybe even DNA. And yet, because you were separated at birth, your life experiences have been very different. To enhance this analogy, what if we were to tell you that this close family member you were separated from was raised on a distant planet, a completely different environment than planet Earth? If that were the case, we are sure you would be curious and have many questions about this place your close family member came from. We hope you are beginning to get the gist of our analogy. Begin to get to know your higher self with the same curiosity and interest you might have about getting to know a close family member you never got to know. Begin to form a new bond, a new relationship with this close family member. Do not assume just because you came from different places, different dimensions, that you cannot learn to communicate in a very deep way. You may not speak the same language, but you can learn to communicate. The more you get to know and understand better this close family member, your higher self, the more the purpose of your human existence will begin to make sense. And now for the second way that may assist you in a greater understanding of your life's purpose, or shall we say, the purposes of your life experiences. What we suggest is you begin to always, and of course always is rarely possible in human form, and why that is the subject of another teaching, to look at life from the perspective of purpose. And yes, we know that all things that come your way are not always within your control, but maybe, just maybe, they are in the control of that close family member that you are beginning to know better. So begin to look deeper into everything that comes your way from the perspective of understanding the possible purpose of it. Begin to ask on a regular and consistent basis when something happens to you or comes your way, what is the purpose of that as it relates to my human life experiences? Why is this happening? There must be a reason, and I'm going to assume it is not punishment, retribution, or judgment. What if everything that you experience was part of a greater plan? What if that plan was developed by the great Creator itself? What if a part of the great Creator, your higher self, was given the responsibility of helping you live out that purpose? If you begin to see your life experiences through the lenses of a higher purpose, you may come to understand your life in a new way. You would still go through the challenges, trials, and tribulations, but instead of suffering through them, you just might be able to understand why they are in your life. You may begin to understand to the best of your human ability the purpose behind your life experiences. As you get better at seeing your life experiences through the lenses of higher purpose, you will begin to live a life existence with greater harmony, happiness, and contentment.